No one in Washington expected it to be said out loud, certainly not that directly. But that's exactly what Eric Swalwell did. He didn't soften the question, he didn't cloak it in procedure or polite phrasing. He didn't hide behind the kind of careful language meant to keep careers intact. Instead, he locked eyes with Kash Patel and spoke the one name everyone has been avoiding in connection with those files: Trump. Then he demanded answers about Epstein. Watch this video all the way through, because the moment you see Patel's expression, the entire exchange snaps into focus. And if you're new here, subscribe and turn on notifications. This story isn't ending tonight, and you'll want to be here as each new piece falls into place. Now, let me walk you into the room. This was supposed to be a closed-door Senate Intelligence Committee session. At the last minute, it was shifted into an open hearing at Swalwell's request. He said the public had a right to see what was about to happen. That alone should have raised eyebrows. Now we understand exactly why. Patel entered the room the way he always does, confident. 3 attorneys at his side, 2 aides trailing behind. That familiar walk, shoulders back, chin high. The unmistakable posture of someone who believes he's already weathered worse storms. He's been through countless hearings. He knows how to deflect. He knows how to stall. He knows how to survive. What he didn't anticipate was Swalwell. The first 40 minutes were standard intelligence budget questions, counterterrorism updates, some back and forth about surveillance protocols. Patel handled it fine, gave his usual non-answers, checked his watch twice, looked bored. Then Swalwell took the microphone. "Director Patel, I want to talk about the Epstein files." Patel's expression didn't change. He'd heard this before. He had his standard response ready. "Of course, Senator, as I've stated in my previous testimony." "I'm not interested in your previous testimony," Swalwell cut in. Swalwell opened a folder, red, thick, tabbed with colored markers. "I'm interested in what you haven't told us." The room shifted. You could feel it, that change in energy when everyone realizes something is about to happen. "Specifically," Swalwell continued, "I want to know why every document in the Epstein files that references Donald Trump has been reclassified since you became FBI director." The room didn't just go quiet, it froze. I've heard silence before. This wasn't that. This was the kind that hits all at once when dozens of people stop breathing at the same moment. Patel's expression shifted rapidly. First a flicker of shock, then irritation, then the reset, the familiar, controlled look politicians wear when they know cameras are watching. "Senator, I have no knowledge of any reclassification aimed at documents concerning any specific individual." No knowledge. Swalwell didn't hesitate. He reached for a document. "This is an internal FBI memorandum dated March 15th of this year, 3 months after you assumed your position. It instructs the Classification Review Board to fast-track a review of all Epstein-related materials that reference current government officials or individuals connected to them." He raised the document so the cameras could catch it. "This bears the signature of your deputy director. Are you seriously telling this committee you had no knowledge of it?" Patel's eyes flicked toward his attorneys. Nothing. No scribbled notes, no hush guidance. This wasn't something they could rescue him from. "Senator, classification reviews happen regularly. There's nothing regular about this." Swalwell's voice sharpened, still controlled, but climbing. "Since you took office, 23 documents that were already approved for public release have been pulled back and reclassified. 23. And every one of them mentions Donald Trump." He leaned forward. "That's not a coincidence. Director, that's a pattern." Here's where it got explosive. Patel tried to pivot, tried to make it about politics, tried to paint Swalwell as a partisan attacker. "Senator, I find it disappointing that members of this committee continue to pursue politically motivated." "Politically motivated?" Swalwell laughed. Not a real laugh, the sharp, bitter kind. "Director Patel, I'm not the one who reclassified documents to protect the former president. You are. I'm not the one who took an oath to uphold the law and then buried evidence. You did." His voice was climbing now, and the tension showed it. You could feel the frustration hardening into anger.
Do you have any idea what's inside those documents? Director, do you understand what the public would learn if they were actually released? Patel's jaw locked in place. Senator, I'm not going to speculate on classified material. Then I'll spell it out for you. Swalwell reached for another paper. This is an unclassified summary of witness testimony from 2019, a woman employed at Epstein's Palm Beach residence. She provided 14 names, 14 men she personally saw with underage girls at that property. He didn't look away from Patel. One of those names was Donald Trump. The room erupted, not with noise, but with reaction. Audible gasps from the gallery, reporters lunging for their phones, senators exchanging looks that ranged from disbelief to relief, like something unspeakable had finally been said out loud. Patel attempted to cut in. Senator, that testimony was fully reviewed. And then what? Stamped, classified, locked away, erased from view. Swalwell was on his feet now, actually standing. I've never seen a senator do that mid-hearing. The FBI has had that testimony for 6 years. 6 years. And instead of investigating it, instead of following the leads, instead of doing the work the public expects, you reclassified it. He pointed at Patel. You didn't protect national security. You protected Donald Trump. And everyone in this room knows it. This is the part that's going to be everywhere by tonight. Swalwell picked up a photograph, large, in color, and held it up so everyone could see, including the cameras. Do you recognize this photo, Director Patel? It was Trump and Epstein, that widely circulated photo from Mar-a-Lago in 1997. Both men grinning, both appearing comfortable, familiar because they were. This image has been public for years, Swalwell said. Everyone's seen it. What the public hasn't seen are the 37 additional photographs taken at that same event, images that are currently logged as evidence inside FBI storage, images your office has declined to release. He placed the photo flat on the desk. So tell me, Director, what's in those pictures? What are you keeping hidden? Patel was visibly sweating now. Not figuratively, actual beads of sweat forming on his forehead under the glare of the hearing room lights. Senator, releasing evidentiary photographs involves complicated factors, including privacy concerns and potential investigative. There is no investigation. Swalwell slammed his palm on the desk. The microphone jolted. Epstein is dead. Maxwell is serving time. That chapter is closed. The only explanation for keeping those photos classified is that someone powerful doesn't want them seen. He locked eyes with Patel, and we both know exactly who that someone is. Now, let me pause here for a moment. If you've made it this far and this content matters to you, please like the video. That's not just for me, it tells YouTube this conversation needs to be heard. Leave your thoughts in the comments. This discussion needs to grow. Then came the silence. 20 full seconds in a congressional hearing. That's an eternity. That's what it looks like when a witness has no answer left. That's the moment viewers realize they're watching something that won't be forgotten. Patel sat motionless. His attorneys offered nothing. His rehearsed talking points went nowhere. Everything he prepared collapsed in the face of someone willing to say out loud what others only hint at. Finally, he spoke. His tone had changed. Lower, guarded. Senator, I completely reject the suggestion that the FBI has acted to shield any individual regardless of political affiliation. All classification decisions are made strictly on the basis of legitimate national security and law enforcement concerns. Swalwell slowly shook his head. Director Patel, here's what I see. I see an FBI director appointed by Donald Trump, an FBI director whose career is tied to Donald Trump. And for the past 11 months, I see an FBI director systematically concealing evidence that links Donald Trump to a convicted sex trafficker. He began stacking his papers. That's not law enforcement, he said. That's obstruction. And I promise you, I promise the American people, this committee will uncover the truth even if I have to personally subpoena every document in that building. Technically, the hearing went on after that. Other senators took their turns. Other questions were asked. Cybersecurity, foreign interference, procedural noise. None of it mattered. No one was really listening anymore because the only thing echoing in that room was what Swalwell just put on the record, out loud, on camera, with no ambiguity. Donald Trump's name appears in the Epstein files, and Kash Patel has been keeping it buried. Within minutes, the footage spread everywhere. Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, cable networks cutting into scheduled programming. Legal analysts immediately began to debate whether Patel's testimony crossed the line into obstruction of justice. And somewhere inside FBI headquarters, staffers were almost certainly scrambling, trying to prepare answers to questions that were never supposed to be asked in public. I need to stop here and explain why this matters so much. For years, people have speculated about what's in the Epstein files, who else was involved, which powerful people